So I really want to talk about why I think Stadia Pro is starting to look like one of the best deals in gaming. But one of the things that really failed for Stadia was at the launch and the announcement in 2019, the initial impressions of the service was that it was going to be like a Netflix for games. At least that's what a lot of people thought. The ability just to flip through games like you would Netflix, choose your flavor of choice at any given moment was the dream for some. Now at the time that was obviously unrealistic, just due to the lack of games coming onto the service itself, and well, we don't know how profitable that can even be. But I dare say, Stadia Pro is starting to look like maybe, well, that's part of the plan all along. In this video, my goal is to explain to you if you're interested in Stadia and wondering what this Pro membership is all about and to see the value in gaming for you. So let's talk about why I think Stadia Pro is such a great deal. And so let's start this with the nuts and bolts if you're completely new to Stadia. It's $9.99 a month here in North America or $8.99 in the UK and or EU, and it gives you some extra things like the ability to play in 4K, better sales in the Stadia store, and I'll touch briefly on that later because the reason why Stadia Pro is one of the better deals in gaming is because of the games. Currently, as of the date of this video, there is 18 total games that you can claim for free if you're a new user or already paying the Pro fee. Not just that, but we have 4 more games coming this July 1st, bringing that total to 22. And unlike something like Xbox Gold that gives you just a few games a month, you can jump in now as a new user and get 22 plus games right away. And I won't even dive deeply in this video talking about the fact that we have a Summer Connect, which will probably mean a stealth drop for the Pro users, so the value of Stadia Pro will only get better and better as time goes on. At this very moment though, the total value in games from Pro is valued at $392.85, and I didn't even add the 4 new games coming into July, which puts that well over $400. And if you happen to be a Stadia Pro member since the start, the value goes even higher because a few games have left the Pro library, and if you add those up, this goes well into the $500 territory. Now, if you're not starting to see how this all adds up, well, then you're just not wanting to give Stadia its due. But with all that said, the quality of games has come into question. And let's talk about that because while I am pro Stadia, you guys know on this channel that I'm not going to BS you. Now, we do have excellent games like Destiny, Zombie Army 4 Dead War, a game that just came out months ago, PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds, Grid, and even Stadia first titles like Guilt and Get Packed. But if it's an indie title, there's a ton of people that just don't care. And that's fine. If you're a gamer who has zero interest in any indie games, then yes, the Stadia Pro is just going to be an okay deal. But I'd argue you're still getting a good deal. But as a guy who loves indie games, heck, I have a whole nother channel dedicated to them. The quality of even the indie games are top notch. For example, like the SteamWorld franchise and games like the SteamWorld Quest, Superhot, Little Nightmares. I mean, these are games that have sold really, really well and have been really highly rated and games that have a lot of merit. Now, we don't know what exactly is the future of the Stadia Pro membership. If they will start to pull more and more games, Elder Scrolls Online is actually set to leave the Pro lineup here soon, but they haven't pulled as much lately as they did in the early part of the year. We've had games like Metro Exodus, Samurai Showdown, part of the library, but they ended up leaving. I hope we continue to see the Stadia team build upon this library and not take too many games out, because this is what is making Stadia a selling point that's really easy for me to explain. Now, they might have dug themselves a hole because we're getting a minimum of 3 games a month when this was just starting at just 2 games a month. The past couple of months we've been getting about 4 games, and this is actually starting to look like a mini Netflix for games with the crazy amount of choices we're getting. The games themselves are ranging in genres as well, from mindless shooters, Serious Sam for example, more strategy games, adventure games, and even horror. Now, obviously, Stadia doesn't have the library that can compete with an xCloud or Game Pass, and in my opinion, Game Pass is probably the best deal in gaming. But one can even argue that PlayStation Now, even with the games being over 10 years old, can be better value than Stadia. But the problem with those cloud services is none of them work as good as Stadia does. I can't play my PlayStation Now games on my phone. I can't get xCloud to run well at all, no matter how hard I try. They desperately need to upgrade those servers. Stadia Pro itself is one of the better deals in gaming, and I'm not saying it's the best, but the fact that you can pay just $10 a month, completely free of any hardware purchases, is amazing. I mean, you can even play without a controller if you happen not to own one by some miracle if you're a gamer, or if you only own a keyboard and mouse, or you can really slum it. If you don't even own a mouse and keyboard, you can play on your touch controls on your phone. At this point, I'd argue that even if you don't have a phone to run Stadia, well then I don't know what to say, but Stadia can play on almost any modern device from almost the past decade. And at $10, you can enjoy over 20 games here soon without downloading and launching just as easy as you launch your movie or TV show on Netflix. But listen, guys. Maybe I'm being delusional, and I'm sure some people are going to tell me that in the comments, but call me crazy. I think Stadia Pro is starting to look like one of the best deals in gaming right now. And I never even touched on the awesome sales you get, which by the way are just as competitive and good as the consoles, and I have fully utilized these sales a bunch. I'd like to hear your guys' thoughts on this though. Have you guys been enjoying Stadia Pro, or have you been disappointed? Because there has been quite a few of you who've told me that you haven't liked the games. I'm on that other side of the fence. I've loved almost all these games. Not every game's gonna call my attention or yours, but I think a lot of these do. And well, we have to give Stadia its credit when it calls for it. Let me know your thoughts, as I do read all your comments, even if I don't get to respond. Like always, guys, I'm Sunny, and I'll see you guys in the clouds.